They finally broke through, but it took them 8 days. And they left a lot of their troops and equipment behind. We chased what was left of them as far as Luxeuil-les-Bains, and then the division stopped for regrouping. When it started out again, the 36th was spearheading the 6th Corps attack across the Moselle. In preparation for the crossing, we attacked Remiremont and Alois. The fighting was still going on when we made a crossing at Saint-Leboid, a point in between. The Moselle bridgehead was established, and the 36th pushed into the Vosges Mountains after the retreating Germans. In the Vosges, our advance suddenly slowed down to a crawl. The terrain was bad and it was getting cold. The Germans were putting up a stiff fight. Clearing the Vosges hills was slow and treacherous work. One battalion, the 1st of the 141st, was cut off and isolated for almost a week without food or water. They fought off repeated German attacks until they were rescued by the 442nd Nice Regiment attached to the division. By the end of November, advance elements of the 36th had reached the Sainte Marie Pass, the highest and narrowest pass of the Vosges Mountains. It was heavily fortified and the Germans considered it impregnable. The 36th was ordered to take it. We attacked with a combined assault and flanking movement we'd used so effectively in Italy. It worked. They told us it was the first time in modern history that pass had ever been taken. Winter set in, we took the city of Sélestat and went on the defensive. Guarding a front line over 50 miles long. Early December saw a bit of fighting all along the line. And the Germans counterattacked. We almost lost Sélestat. We kept it by turning every house we occupied into a fortified position. By Christmas time, the German attack had let up. The 36th, after setting a record of 135 continuous days in combat, was relieved and sent to the rear for a rest. It was a short one. On New Year's Eve 1945, the Germans launched a full-scale attack, which threatened to cut off and encircle the entire 6th Corps. The 36th was immediately recalled and committed. The cold was so intense, the regiments on line duty had to be rotated almost daily. By the end of January, the enemy initiative had died out, and we were preparing for a full-scale attack. Early in March, the 36th broke through the enemy's defense line along the Moder River. By the middle of March, lead elements of the division had crossed into Germany southeast of Wissembourg and were preparing to attack the Siegfried Line. While the lead elements tried to breach the line in the flatlands, the others took to the heavily wooded hills and attacked the heights, which were important features in the enemy's defense plan. It was a slow, costly fight, struggling up the steep wooded slopes, always under the German guns, locating them and then reducing them one by one. Four days later, after a fierce night attack, elements of the division found themselves behind the impregnable Siegfried Line. Bergseburn, Dornbach, and Bolenborn fell and enemy resistance in the area crumpled. The breach in the Siegfried opened a floodgate, and our forces poured into Germany and moved on the Rhine. Within a few days, the entire division was drawn up along the Rhine, awaiting orders. For the 36th, it looked like the fight was over. They received their first rear area assignment, occupation duty in the Saar Basin. Late in April, the division crossed the Danube and re-entered the 7th Army line at Landsberg, mopping up behind the fast-moving 12th Armored. There was more mopping up in Bavaria. Early in May 1945, we were in Austria. We were busy cleaning up when the war ended. The 36th moved rapidly those last days of the war, but its time was profitably spent. Included in its bag of prisoners were such prominent party and military leaders as von Rundstedt and Hermann Göring. Somehow it seemed only fitting that the 36th should be the one to bring in these leaders. They played an important part in their downfall. In 20 months of combat, it won a reputation as an outfit that could be depended upon to accomplish the impossible. The hardship its troops had endured and the heroism they had displayed had also won for it 10 presidential unit citations and 15 congressional medals of honor. The cost had been high, some 27,000 casualties. But the 36th Infantry Division had earned the right to take its place among the great fighting outfits of all time.